Hello everyone, it's Jennifer. And I have the final, this is gonna be the final video in my, using my Jesse James Beads Design Ambassador Program bundle for this month of February, using the Light Academia bead mix, the Color Envy mini mix in Wild Side, the Walk on the Beach bead strand, antique silver twisted links chain, and the gold rose cage bead. I have an unboxing of all of these mixes, and I also have two other videos where I make some necklaces, a couple pairs of earrings, and couple bracelets. So I'll put all of the links to those videos in the description so that you can see everything and go back and look at them. I have 6 pairs of earrings to make. A few of them are super simple, and a couple of them took me a while to come up with how I was going to put them together, but they came together. And of course, when you're using Jesse James beads, it just all comes together so nicely, and I love the quality of the beads and the finding and the components. So everything that I'm using here and everything I've used in my other videos, besides the wires and the ear wires and those types of findings, everything came from the bead mixes and the content that I got in my package for this month as a design ambassador for Jesse James beads. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to use these feather charms that were in the Wild Side bead mix, and these lava beads, and I can't remember which mix or strand, if this came in the strand or not, but you can go back again and check out that video with my unboxing. So I have those 3 pieces here, and then I have 1 piece of 20 gauge wire in silver. And I don't typically do I typically do not do just a simple loop. I will typically do the wrap loop, but for this one here, I wanted to kind of combine and go a little bit out of my comfort zone and make something a little different using some different techniques. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a flush cut, and then I'm going to come in about halfway between. I have little markings on my round nose pliers, so I am going to go about halfway in between this first mark and the end, and I'm just going to roll away from me. And there's 100 different ways of doing these simple loops, and so now I have what looks like a little eye pin, and I could use an eye pin, but I just always grab some wire off of my spool. Oh, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. Sometimes it's easier to work with your pieces after if you have the bottom already assembled there. All right, so let's go ahead and add this and get it closed up. All right, get that closed up, make sure it's nice and straight. And it is. So now what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and add our lava bead. It's gorgeous lava bead. Then you can add your oils. When you add your oils, then they're right on your ears. And we're going to come in just at the end of our chain nose pliers because I don't want a long neck. And then I'm just going to give it a little bend. I'm going to come in just a smidge under half in between there. Have my palm facing me. Roll that over. Hold on to this, roll with my palm facing the table, and then get that looking straight like this. Okay, so now I'm going to come in, and I can use my fingers if I want to, but I want a nice, tight, clean wrap. And so I want to use my bent chain nose pliers here. And as I'm going around, you can see I let go. I let go every time I kind of hit halfway, or because I don't want to, you can snap wire, especially the head pins, you can snap those, but I just let go. There's no reason to rush it. Speed does not equate to any sort of good accuracy, and it does not equate to quality. Make sure you get that tucked in there. Let's go ahead and add our ear wire, and I think these ear wires were left over from winter workshop, or one of the workshops with Jesse James beads. All right, so here we go. We have our first pair. Let me get zoomed in there a little bit. So we have our first pair of earrings there. Very quick and easy. Put those off to the side. Then we'll go ahead and let's go ahead and do another quick and easy. I'm going to come out. Okay, let's go ahead and come on out there, and we are going to be using a head pin. Let me show you what we got as the end here. Beautiful drop earrings, and using these oval like coiled rings as a connector, and hinged ear wire, and these little inky dinky little crystal beads here, little inky dinky ones. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a head pin, and it looks like I need some wire that I didn't add to the bag. I try to add all of my ingredients to the bag, and I did not. And here I did it again, where I just used simple loops again. Oh, I know why I didn't. Because I'm going to use, once I get this cut off, I'm going to use this for that's why I didn't do it. It's all coming to me now. So now I'm just going to go ahead and get that bent over. Get that trimmed off. And then I use that for this little section. All right, so now I can see my marking that I have. Just want to make sure it's not poking out the other end. I can't see it. All right, so here we go. Get that rolled over. Okay, so we got that nice and snug in there. Let's go ahead and open this up. And get that attached. All right, so there we go there. Then let's go ahead and get this made. And I'm just going to do another simple loop. Let's make sure we get that all the way closed up. And then I think Neely calls this breaking the neck. Get that broken. Let's go ahead and connect it. Open her up. And I do want kind of like the back, the opening for these to be on the same side so that there's kind of like a front and back. Now with this one here, I have to remember I'm going to be adding an ear wire, so I need it to go the opposite direction. So I'm going to hold that there. I'm going to go ahead and get that down to the bottom there, and I need to go this way. All right. And let's give it a little bit of a flush cut. put these all together and then get to the end and you don't have a flush cut. All right, so now let's go ahead and get this rolled. Perfect. And then we'll get our ear wire put on there. Oh, it's a little offsides, off-centered. There we go. Let's go ahead and open her up. And I know the ear wire can be opened up too, but I try to not open them if I don't have to. They're good ear wires. I just don't want to have to open something up if I don't have to. All right. And I'm in sunny California, but the sun just is not wanting to poke through. All right, through the windows. All right, so here, well, I knew that it looked a little cattywampus here. There we go. All right, so now we have our second pair of earrings. Let me zoom in. There we are there. Just cute little simple earrings, right? So we've got 2 pairs so far. Now let's go ahead and make these. These were fun. I try to make earrings that I know that I can make a very similar second earring. So again, I'm going to use those links, and I have my ear wire, and I have 2 bead caps, and I have this top drilled bead, and then this little bead here that's got a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of like sugar crystals on there. So there we go there. And I have some, this is 22 gauge. So this is 22 gauge antique bronze. I have probably about 6 inches or so. And what I'm going to do is I am going to I'm going to send this through. I'm going to do a little bit of a wrapping. I'm going to get that right next and up against the bead. Let's get that up and against the bead. There we go there, because we want the bead caps to fit on there. There we go. Get that long end bent up, and then I'm going to take this short end and just bend it this way a little bit. And then I'm going to hold on to it, and I'm just going to wrap it a couple of times. Just enough to get that secure. And it doesn't have to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty because it's going to be underneath the bead caps. All right. I'm weird. I still tuck in my tail. All right. So now we have this bead cap here, and I want it to really go over the bead, and then we're going to add this bead cap and get that secured on there. Then we are going to add our bead. There we go. So we have our little ensemble down here. And then I'm connecting this little piece here directly onto the link. So if you want to use jump rings, you can. I'm not going to. I'm just going to connect it straight on there. And I am going to give that a little bend. And I'm going to come in about halfway in between those markings. It's not halfway on the bail there. All right. Get that straight out. Then you just have to remember to add your ring. There we go. And I really, there, just grab it with your chain nose pliers and it'll all stay intact. Now we're gonna go around once, twice, 3 times. Did I do messy? I did messy. So I'm gonna come back up and there we are. I do truly messy wraps. If you wanna know how to do a messy wrap rather than doing a perfect messy wrap, you found the right person, because they are truly messy. All right, so now let's go ahead, and all I did was connect my ear wire directly onto this little link, closed it up, and there we are. Here is earring number 3. Let's zoom in. Very cute. And let's go ahead and put these together. These were the last pair that I put together. And these were just kind of, oh, I have a few beads left over. What are we going to do? So what I did was I did the same little stacking of the bead caps. and then just added this beautiful chunky rondelle and one of the bead caps. This came off of the Walk on the Beach bead strand. So did this bead cap. That bead cap came off of the bead strand, and this one here either came out of the Wild Side or the Light Academia. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and grab my head pin, and I have a flat head pin, and I'm just going to stack my bead caps and then just make sure I get it all secure in there. And then I'm going to add my rondelle. I'm going to add my bead cap, and then I'm going to come in with my chain nose pliers here. Okay, at the very end, because I don't want a long neck. I'm going to go a little smidge under halfway between those lines, get them all lined up, and come in with my bent chain nose pliers, and sorry, my dog is in here with me and has decided he wants to start cleaning himself. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to come in and hold that there so I can get my little tail tucked in. Not the most attractive of wraps. For any of you that record, when you're recording, you're just not in the same angle as you normally are. So for me, my actual sample one is the one that turns out looking better than the one I do on camera. Okay, so here we are here. Let me get zoomed in. And another bit of brass and some tan peachy color. So now that is our 4th pair. Now our 5th pair is going to be it's going to take a little bit, because I did a little bit of wrapping or wiring here using some soft flex, and I used one of the boho beads from the bead strand, and then the little tassel, and so made up a loop there, and then wire wrapped all of these together. So let's just go ahead and do the wire wrapping first, get that straightened out. And so I went ahead and I have looks like a pretty large hole there, because of how this, the hole is pretty thick. I want it to move around. So and I have about, I don't know, maybe 5 inches of 20 gauge wire. Do that, come in about here. Let's come in about there, which could be why my marking is way out there too. All right, that looks about it. Let's go ahead and open that up a little bit. See if this guy freely moves, and he does. All right, so then just come in and we're gonna just do 3 clean wraps. Let's do 3 clean wraps. Okay, come in and get that snipped off. All right, get that tucked in. All right, now let's go ahead and we got that's the front. All right, so now let's go ahead and get that put on. Let's go ahead and make our loop. And get that on there. I think I did. Let me look. Yeah, I need to get oh no, it's on here. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, so now let's go ahead and get once, twice, 3 times around. Get that snipped off. Let's come in and tuck in that little tail. All right, so now that was the easy part. So now I have, let me see. I have about 18 inches of soft flex wire. And what I want to do is I want to wrap this around 3 times. I want to bring my ends up and want to get it as even as possible here. To where my loops, and I want them to, they need to go freely. So let's take our time and get them wrapped around so that they're happy, and they're happy now if I get them done a little bit. All right, so now I'm going to take this one here, and then I want to braid these. So, and I did 10 braids. So I have this here. So now I'm going to go under, over, that's 2. And then we go here, and then we got to go to this side. 3, 4, oops, where's my, there it is. There's 4. Now we're getting over here. So now I went under, so then here's 5. 6. And here's 7. Oops. 7, 8. 9. It's much easier when you're holding it closer to your face. There's 9. 9, and 10. And then they meet up at the top again. All right, so then now it's time to just get it finagled a little bit. And, oops, get it finagled a little bit. Make sure you have a hold of your little tails there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pass a 2x2 crimp tube through one end and then pass it through the other end, just like so. And trying to remember how much room I had. I believe I had about that much. Oh, there's my marker. So this is my marker of how much excess I had on each side. And then we can always go back and rearrange our, little wires after we have it done. So there's that side, that's good. And there's that side. Okay, so now I'm gonna come in with my magic crimpers so I can get that bead-like finish. And I'm gonna come in and give it a little squish. So I got that little square, and then I'm gonna come in on its side and give it a squish, and then just start going around. So we can get that little bead-like finish. All right, then I'll come in and trim the sides. Trim the sides off. Now, you see how that's all kind of cattywampus there. Now just start forming, and there you go. You have your little round piece. So let's go ahead and get this on our loop there. Okay, so we have our, I'm gonna close it up just a little bit. I don't need to open it up that much. All right, so now let's go ahead and get our, this is the front. And I do have a little inky dinky little jump ring, a little like 3mm jump ring, just so that this would sit on here right. Did not take as long as I thought it would. I thought it would take a while. So now we have our 2 hoop earrings using some soft flex, which is also available on Jessie James Beads website. So very cute. Now earring number 6. These are probably my favorite earrings. When I did my opening, my unboxing, I immediately just gravitated towards these red beads, and then wanted to use them with some of this antique copper. Now, this is where I added something from my own stash, because when I had it like this, without the spacers, it just kind of moved around a little bit too much. And so I wanted to add in, these are tiara cast, and these are little faceted nuggets, and so, or hexagon or spacers. So I'm gonna go ahead and, let me just tell you what I have. I have a flat head pin. I have 2 of those gorgeous red rondelles. I have 2 of these humongous bead caps, the antique copper bead caps, gorgeous. 1 of the crystal spacers. And then, like I said, I did add those 2 pieces there. And again, those are tiara cast. And the reason why is because we have a large hole, and I just need something to get in place there. And these little faceted spacers are just perfect, because then they lock it in, and then they sit on top of those crystal rondelles so well. And then we're going to put this one facing up. And then we just have to get it all placed in there correctly before we go. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so now let's go ahead, and I do not want a long neck. I just have to make sure that I have it placed in there really well. Let's come in with our round nose pliers. And these head pins are super duper, they're super duty. All right. I can't even get it to go straight across. Okay, so now let's just make sure we have everything in place. So we're gonna go around 3 times. So I'm gonna go around once. They are super heavy. Twice. And then this 3rd time is gonna be to lock it all in. And make sure that it's, yep, it's all locked in there nice and tight. Let's get in camera here. All right. Now let's go ahead and, it is pretty tight. Those guys aren't moving. All right. And you just have to be careful. You don't want to crack your beads, but you want to also tuck that in. Not that, I mean, these are going to poke at you before that will, but it just is just better. It looks cleaner. And then let's just come in. And there we are. Here's our final pair of earrings. Let's zoom in for you. And there's the final pair of earrings. So we have 6 pairs that we made in a fairly short amount of time. Let's get these. And there we are. I will also share, this is all that I have left over. Now this here, what I'm gonna do just off camera is I'm just going to add maybe some beading wire, maybe a couple, maybe 3 pieces of beading wire, and braid it, maybe with a silver and a gray and maybe like a white. I know I do have a white, and braid it all together and put that and get that used up. And that's it. That is it out of all those beads. I will put the description to the other 3 videos, which include the unboxing and then also making some necklaces and bracelets and another few pairs of earrings. So out of this mix, I have 9 pairs of earrings, 6 necklaces, and 3 bracelets. Pretty incredible. And again, all I added were those 4 little spacer beads in here. So, and then of course I add my wires and those types of, and our other findings. So be sure to like and comment. And if you haven't done so, subscribe. Also, head on over to Jessie James Beads and grab yourself this mix that I have here too. This is not available as a bundle. These are all sold separately. I get them bundled together as being a design ambassador for Jessie James Beads and sharing all these incredible products with you and what you can do with them. So until next time, have a good one.